The New Zealand Bowls Open is brought to you by Anti-Flam Joints.
Welcome to the Anti-Flam Joints New Zealand Bowls Open from the Henderson Bowling Club here in Auckland. I'm Clint Brown. Glad you could join us on Sky Sport. We certainly hope you had a very Merry Christmas. And of course, Terry Scott, we're counting down to a Happy New Year. The question is, as we take a look at the triples coming up today, are we going to be counting down to a new combination, a new champion combination? The defending champions are back, but we have last year with the new triple. Should be a great showdown.
Yeah, always hard to defend your title, and when you're up against people like Jan Shirley, who over the last 12 months came into the New Zealand squad. She's had a successful 12 months. I just think that they may well be able to pull it off. They were her and of course of the pairs last year, may be able to get a double.
And of course the question is, can Annie Bell and the Waikato go on to their title today? This could be a big change, big effect. I mean, like the wind. That effect have on the actual bowls?
Well, it can be a huge effect, but sometimes it can be a huge effect on the players as well. That gets into the head. They think they deliver, doesn't go in the right direction, get a little bit frustrated, know what to do with the next one. Annie Bell and her Waikato combination. Mate, just watch out for them.
And all the old timers here at the Henderson Club, they say, Brownie, when it comes to winning bowls, you can get their line and their length right from the get-go in those first couple of that.
Yes, if they get off to a good hold back, it's going to be a good game.
All right, so let's place the mat, deliver, check out the final of the Comfort Pro. It's the women's triples final.
It is the fourth week of the summer series of bowls at the Henderson Bowling Club in the super city of Auckland. We have already had 3 fantastic finals, but today we parade the champions for this, the 2010 Anti-Flam Joints New Zealand Open. While all the bowlers around the country have been celebrating Christmas, one of these combinations will have the additional reason to rejoice with $3,000 of prize money for the winning combination. With me today, giving his expert analysis of the game and conditions, is the current New Zealand representative and Men's Commonwealth Games pairs skip, Dan Delaney.
Morning, Terry. This morning it's another nice day out here. Slight early morning breeze. The green looks to be running about 18 seconds, so it could be very entertaining.
Yes, certainly so. If we see the opening bowls that have been played, Olivia Bloomfield, the composite combination of Jan Shirley and Aileen Peters from the Canterbury region, playing out of the Christchurch club in Christchurch. Olivia Bloomfield, of course, Moni Hunger, delivering her second bowls in this triples event.
Very good.
Each of the players 2 bowls played alternatively. The lead, Olivia Bloomfield, is 2 bowls. Bev Corbett. The winning combination from the 2009 triples event, back here today, fought their way to play with some very convincing wins. Now back in the final again this year. Bev Corbett, we see her blue bowl is coming into vision there, the top of the screen. The yellow jack has been placed on the 2 metre mark, which is the maximum length that the green is. Players can play to. And Aileen Peters delivering her forest bowl, going very, very wide. Well, it'll be interesting to see. Breeze starts bringing this back into play. We can see it coming in on the left of our screen. They want to come back just a little bit short on that occasion. The opening end, the players have had a couple of trial ends just to get the feel of the green. Dan Green, this is a starweed green, Danny.
Yeah, it is, Terry. It's very Starweed plays very different to every other surface you'll get in New Zealand. It's a very draw drive kind of green. Hard to play those yard to the head kind of shots that you're so fond of.
But certainly so. It's one of the areas in Auckland that, one of the areas in New Zealand, the Auckland greens that predominantly are starweed. Aileen Peters looks to be more on target with this one. Very well weighted bowl, just cut the face of the jack. Well, we can see the draw that the bowls are already taking, and it's very early in the day. 15 ends this final. Market. Fantastic little lady who's built an impressive record in the district, playing out of the Hillcrest Bowling Club.
1, 2. Green, sorry, green. God.
Well, at the moment, definitely the one shot to the...
Did you forget that, Jan?
Well, we'll call it the Canterbury combination for this. A little bit easier. We've got 2 Cantabrians in it. Not ignoring, of course, the fine record and performance that Olivia Bloomfield has put up throughout this event. Jan Shirley will be playing her first bowl, the skipper of the team. What makes this all a little bit more interesting this game is that Jan Shirley and Aileen Peters were the winners of the Pairs event last year, so we've got some champions on play. Probably hear the breeze in the background. It's all a little bit more difficult for the players. It's one of the conditions that players generally dislike the most. See the wavering of the banners. There's Annie Bell. Look at this. She's on form very early in the game. Puts the jack through to the ditch. As we see, the players just mark the bowl. We saw it briefly there. Look at them marking the bowl. That indicates that that bowl is a toucher. They just put a little chalk mark on it. It happens to go. It does stay alive. So chalk mark there, the spray chalk. Been put onto the bowl. That was the one that Annie Bell played. Shirley, her second bowl. Studies it intently. It's to be pretty much on target if she can negotiate the short bowl. Fails to do so. There's Dorian Schumacher. Gives the directions. Commonly referred to as Ferrari at home. Annie Bell going very wide. You can see the boundary about to cross. Studies it. There's the line coming into the rink boundary lines. Looking to be pretty good if she stays on the... Look at it beating around there. We can see the jack. Fantastic opening bowls from Annette Bell, and she draws the winning shot. Number 1. It's the Waikato combination who picks up the opening shot. 15 in 5. Yeah, lollipop lady. That is, of course, Diana Smith from the Blockhouse Bay Club here in Auckland. Giving us an indication, and let's just have a look at the replay of this last bowl. The green that is being taken at the moment.
So
amazing.
The one shot women's triples final here at the Anti-Flame Joints New Zealand Open.
Shot bowl for Annette Bell. Fantastic. We have Corbett, the lead. Dan, you just might like to let the viewers know what the procedure is in regards to the jack. We saw Bev Corbett throw the jack on, and so enlighten the viewers as to the right of the players have by winning the previous end?
The winner of the previous end decides whether they want to take it away. The men give it away. Have a lot of faith in the last bowl. The women tend to take the jack. It's just different styles of play, and shows up quite clearly the way the women play and the way the men.
Yeah, one of those quirky little rules that was introduced a number of years ago that is, I understand now, going to change back to the original rule, and I think at some stage, I think this may be played down, that they have that choice and the winners will take the jack in the future.
Yeah, it's very, every person's probably played a game where they've played someone and that last bowl's just destroyed them when they've, and it does give a certain advantage to someone who's playing very well at the end of the top of the game in particular.
Second bowl it was we just saw coming in from Olivia Bloomfield, playing with the turquoise bowls.
Got a slight head breeze coming, making things a bit difficult.
Yes, we can certainly see it there. The bowl's pulling up very quickly, playing into the headwind, and Dorian Schumacher has tried to compensate that and gone heavy. Very important, of course, for the front combinations of a two-bowl triples match to foundation for the skip.
I think you're right there, Terry. It's going to be one of those games. I think first on the jack is going to get this game sewn up and run, I think.
This hand, Dorian. This hand. Beneath.
Schumacher has a passion for horses. A couple of racing horses that she was telling us about performing very well. Doreen's Dream, of course, named after herself, and Lord Brylan, Pacer and a Trotter, performed very well recently. Spare time is predominantly spent attending to her horses, apart from the time she's played bowls, and introduced her daughter to play in the game as well, to hopefully carry on the magnificent tradition and record that she has built up in the Waikato district. Well, a little bit spread at the moment. We can see the bowls there. The closest is a good metre from the jack. Jack on the centre line. The Canterbury combination bowl, they're playing with the green disc, so we'll identify their bowls as having the green disc. You see it on the left hand side of the jack, and the red disc bowl on the Waikato combination on the right hand side of the jack. No indication as to who's got the shot.
Those shot bowls are very hard to beat on this screen, Terry. You know, the speed of the green, especially with that wind, makes it very hard to. Anything within that kind of range is going to be very hard to get inside.
See an attempt from Annie Bell. The ball comes into vision on the right hand side, and as mentioned, very difficult in conditions to be able to head off bowls that are only a metre away. Jan Shirley looking to see if she can get any closer. Gets connection onto the bowl of Olivia Bloomfield. Change the result at this stage. Part of the crowd that started to turn up here this morning to have a look at this triples final.
Taking the green.
You see there, Terry, she's tried to compensate for the wind. Rule of thumb with the wind, you just play your normal bowl, don't you?
Yes, it's one of those conditions that's very difficult to allow for. You can deliver the bowl, you're on a pretty good line, and the wind can have a huge impact on its journey to the jack. Jan Shirley looks to be pretty much on target with this bowl. Has she got the weight? Was hitting. It certainly hasn't. Pulled it up very, very quickly. Well, the players will have a look, and I'm sure Dorian Schumacher bringing out the measure to the jack. See the block end going to the jack and take it out to the bowl, which is her own bowl, and then we'll have a look at the green. Certainly just looks as though it's a shot. It certainly is. A 1 to the Canterbury combination as we get an indication of the green lollipop, and the second end is completed with the scores tied up at 1-1.
We're all tied up 1 apiece. You just joined us, welcome. Triples final in the black uniforms today. They've caught the lead in Dorian Schumacher, and in the blue, Jan Shirley skipping Olivia Bloomfield the lead, and Aileen Peters.
Commencement of the third end. Just remembering it's a 15-end final, so it's a little bit of a sprint. Olivia Bloomfield playing with the Greenmaster Premier Bowl. Premier Power. A lot of different bowls on the market. All players have their own choice as to what they want to play with. And what a fantastic opening bowl that is. Now, I think we may just see some better ends going in this direction. The players, as you mentioned, then have the wind behind them. It is a lot easier to play.
Yeah, it is. They seem the bowl turns more. You just let it the wind take it in there, and very hard to judge with the head when you punch it in there and it sails past, the wind drops. But going this way, it seemed a bit more cover down that end.
Players playing towards the north. See the blue sky around, clouds starting to break. One shot at the moment to Olivia. Looking to consolidate it, and this is where it is important as we see some two very, very good opening bowls from her skip. Very happy Jan Shirley about that.
Yeah, two bowls like that are very hard to beat on the screen, Terry. Maybe a little.
That's one of the things that is quite interesting when conditions are difficult, is that you can have a player who puts them too close if they do, and it forces the opposition to play with some aggression. No aggression here from Bev Corbett. She says I can outdo it on the draw, but just past.
Yeah, you're following that, mate.
Too far behind. Yes, Aileen Peters. Current New Zealand selector, who has built up also an impressive record in the Canterbury district, won numerous centre titles. Also playing with the Greenmaster Bowl in the...
Well, buddy.
She's drawn the shot itself there, Terry.
You've got to reach it, Dorian. To there, or you might get the jack.
You see again, Terry, the difference between the men's and the women's game. Men that would be drawn into this here.
Yes, they are a little bit more conservative. The women would be starting to look with aggression, particularly with the opening bowl of Beard Corbett at the back of the ring.
Been good. Good bowl. Great bowl.
Well, that's why they probably draw, Dan, because they have a little bit more skill than some of the men, perhaps.
Yeah, mate. I think we do tend to play with more aggression, more weight. We do need to work on our finesse sometimes.
Dorian Schumacher. Fantastic bowl, we can see it there sitting beside the jack as the players are going up to have a look. Two shots it is at the moment. to Annie Bell combination, and Aileen Peters had a study of the head. Very good head it is too. The players just getting a little bit more feel for the green perhaps and adapting to the conditions a little bit better, but won't be easy throughout this game.
Railing's bowled here. That's a bit like
Yep.
Dorian
And Aileen Peters.
Did you have a look at it? They are.
Got her on the forehand here, Terry. Don't know what quite they're playing for here.
Looking at playing through her own bowls, perhaps promoting the bowls of Olivia's. Looks to be pretty much on target as we see it coming in. Their own bowls well. They've made it just a little bit better actually, because she has promoted one of the other bowls back into the head, but it may give Jan Shirley now to play with some weight. She does have a bowl past the jack. As Dorian Schumacher delivers on her forehand, the right-handed player. Turquoise bowl. At the moment they already have one at the rear, but the head's lying very well for them. Annie Bell strides back to the mat. She's in a very good position on this end, but it will be Jan Shirley that will have first bowl. 2 bowls each, played alternatively. Being given by Aileen Peters as Jan Shirley. And little disc on the inside, we can see it there. And playing with some weight, studies it. Gets into the direction, crossing the centre line and gets contact. Now,
Dorian? Yeah. We're one down, are we? Hello? Eh? Okay.
see the 2 bowls close to the jack. It's Annie Bell delivering. Very wide again. Bowls coming out. Boundary line indicates how much draw these bowls are actually taking, because it's coming back towards the jack now. This is a fantastic bowl from Annie. Absolutely outstanding. And Aileen Peters will have a look now. We've got a good vision that indicates of 2 down. The 2 red disc bowls of the shots. They are a combination.
The side, isn't it? Sorry? 2 bowls in the front there, and that's actually in front of the other one.
Clarification being sought.
Bowl.
Jan Shirley on the actual positions of the bowls.
Right, okay.
Looking as to
Because that's our bowl,
what
eh?
hand she may well play this on. She is 2 down.
Looks like she's going to go back in. All her bowls are on the backhand side, catching out there, Terry, I think. She gets a piece of that with a couple of yards of weight to it. She
To be very tight if it's crossing the centre line already. I don't think that's going to hold. No, it's away underneath. No. Not a good bowl from Jan Shirley at all. Drew one fantastic shot. Looking for an addition. Here it is coming. But it's too heavy on this occasion. It'll be 2 shots to the Waikato combination. The 3rd end completed. And it's 3-1 to Annie Bell. Yeah, we look back at the ball that was played here that trailed the jack back, and that was Dorian Schumacher. Fantastic bowl from her. That was the bowl that set it up for the Waikato combination. Here's Corbett. coming out of the Hinarera Bowling Club in the Waikato. Another one who has won a number of titles, national fours. She has been the winner in strong the combinations that she has played with. Also been involved at competitive level in a number of sports, including tennis, hockey, squash, golf. Her parents, of course, who played bowls, talked her into playing, and never regretted it. Continued on
Very
Very good.
with considerable success.
That's okay.
Yeah, got that line good.
Well, we notice that once second end coming back into the windy conditions, making it a little bit difficult for the players.
Seems to have died this slightly, Terry, but second guessing themselves after the last end down this way.
Well, it's been interesting because most of the bowls coming in this direction have been played on the backhand. They're all right-hand bowlers participating. It makes it a little bit easier for us that it's the backhand that they have been playing, and the trial ends that they had prior to the commencement of the game will determine that they are happier to come onto that hand, particularly playing back into the windy conditions, and we can see the fluttering of the trees and the of this magnificent facility at the Henderson Bowling Club. Playing on a different green than the finals have traditionally been played on in the past. The finals green is being renovated at the present time, so we've moved to the number 2 green here at the Henderson Bowling Club.
Number 2 green, it has a bit more cover too, Terry, with these trees on the...
Coming round Bev's bowl, Dory.
But today the wind's coming from the other direction, so trees are no use to them today.
Yep, well done. Bowl.
Yep, well done. Well, Dorian in the rock at the moment for this Waikato combination. Aileen Peters delivers her second bowl, and the players will then move up and change over with the skips, looking to get some connection on their own bowl or sit onto the shot bowl. Glide off it and gets nothing. At the moment it's the one in a measure, perhaps the bowl up. It's also the Waikato rub off. It could well be 2 shots. Bell plays her first bowl, studies it intently, looking to draw another shot. Turned over her own bowl, which would definitely make it another shot. Well, it's going to be interesting here because Aileen Peters has indicated to Jan Shirley that perhaps we need to have a look at playing. Getting blocked up the front there by those 2 red disc bowls. As Jan Shirley plays one of the few bowls on the 4th. Playing into the breeze. See it coming down the left hand side of the green. It's to be slightly heavy, as we were told. Running at 18 seconds. Well, came through a good metre past the... At the moment it's definitely the Waikato combination that
Always hard to change your hand when they play a shot on hand you've never played in the game, Terry. Just showed there she ran past the meter. Hopefully she can correct with the next.
Well, look at this from Annie Bell. Definitely drawn another shot. She's we can see her black bowl as the shot as Jan Shirley looking to recover for the Canterbury combination. Be in the area, but I think she's going to need to get a catch, otherwise she's going to drift a long way through, and she certainly does on that occasion. It's going to be a big score here for the Waikato team. Definitely got two, taken two out, and I think that the bowl that is short of the jack.
According to the play, this women's triples final.
We had the indication there from Bev Corbett, and the jack is coming back. Now the reason for that was that Bev Corbett threw the jack at the commencement of the end and put it into the ditch. Her Olivia Bloomfield has the opportunity to perhaps change something around. She noticed that she took the mat back to what we call the 2 metre mark, the distance that the mat has to be up the green, and then also throws the jack. Now this will be interesting because this could well go in the ditch as well. It does. So the jack will now be placed. Each player has had the opportunity to throw it. The jack is now placed on the 2 metre mark, and the lead goes back to her. Will determine where she wishes to place the mat. Prior to delivering her first bowl, commencement of the 5th end.
There's a big advantage in being able to control the jack, play the length you want, play the length that you're playing well. Losing it is not really what you want to be doing.
Yes, it's one of the skills that everybody in their training program should have, because it is such an important and crucial, if you are dominating a particular length throughout a game, that you can manage to throw the jack to that length. And you saw on that occasion both players to determine where they wanted the jack. And one of the difficulties, of course, is that they've been playing bowls and throw a little bit lighter and runs differently to the bowls, but it is a skill to be learned and a very important one as well. There's Olivia. Well, she was quite happy where it was in the end because she picked up the jack. The firefighter from Auckland, she's on fire there with the opening bowl.
You want to change? They're far behind. Eh? That one? Yeah. Stay there.
Well, indications to Bev Corbett. You're the lead. You just stay on your hand and get as close as you can. She does that on the backhand. Very long end now. The jack only a metre from the ditch.
Use it.
Yes,
Yep,
Bev
well
Corbett says, well, I don't worry me. Either you can do.
You try on this hand, girl. Join down to this bolt.
The long ends predominantly we score the amount of shots too. when you are in trouble, you usually do. When you need to pick up shots, you usually do go for a long end.
Yes, it creates that situation where opposition perhaps find it a little bit more difficult to attack if they're in trouble. As you said, Dan, recovery position, the longer end with her second bowl on the green, but hits the bowl of Bev Corbett and drifts through the dish, and that bowl will now be removed from play. It hadn't previously touched, taken off the out of the bank. It's Dorian Schumacher. Forehand. Well, the wind is really picking up behind these bowls, and I think we see this one going through the ditch as well. She got a huge gust of wind, as we can see from the banners displayed around the green. The Anti-Flam Joints New Zealand Open for 2010, and the triple sponsored of course by Comfort Pro. Huge draw from the bowl of Aileen Peters. Another one going through the ditch. Well, the players are really struggling on this occasion.
Yeah, that wind's really getting good on those bowls, and just they're flying.
Adjustments needing to be made. The score at the top of our screen, 7-1 to the Annie Bell combination from the Waikato, the current defending champions of this event, the women's triples, end 5 in progress.
Yeah.
At the moment, definitely one shot.
Too far behind it. The rest of the bowl, room for you to sit in there.
So Jan Shirley gives a very direct instructions to her second, Aileen Peters, and now spends a considerable time with the youth bowls and the secondary schools bowls, which has become so prominent in our sport, and Aileen has been fantastic in nurturing a lot of those players, and they are the bowlers of the future, the ones that have come through the secondary schools. That development over the last 5 years has been absolutely fantastic.
You ask any older bowler, they always regret them up when they were younger. Now it's in the schools, and you're seeing it on the greens. The younger guys got a lot of flair in them. They get excitable on the green, not like it used to be, all quiet and dour.
Yep, a lot of flair and no fear. The younger players, and qualifying events leading up to these finals, that the younger players have certainly stamped their mark, although perhaps final they've certainly been right up in post-section play leading through to this final, and so you see the bowl of Annie Bell. This lady is on 4. And justifiably deserved. Making it a little bit more difficult for Jan Shirley. You'd have to look at playing on a backhand. Jack getting moved further towards the ditch, making it a lot more difficult. Jan Shirley represented New Zealand earlier this year. It's an 8 Nations event, and lead up to Commonwealth Games she played in that event in India. It's built up an impressive record over the last 12 months, and as I said earlier, winning this Peers event here at the New Zealand Open last year. And on the bowl of Olivia Bloomfield, and promoted it through, and of course the beauty about that bowl is it is a toucher bowl, so we recall very early on where she moved the jack, and we see the wee white chalk mark on indicating that bowl is a toucher.
It'd take a very good bowl to get rid of that toucher there. They'd have to hit it right on the edge, but that is not the woman's kind of game. Probably just a draw shot going to come up. Yeah,
extremely difficult for Annie Bell, because as was mentioned, that bowler toucher, if it goes in the ditch, it does still stay alive. It's right beside the Flam sign there on the ditch. Sponsors of this, the New Zealand Open.
She's going to play for her own toucher here, I believe. Try and push her own toucher into the ditch.
Yes, she can do that. Has a bowler herself. It is a toucher. Playing with some hand.
A bit wide.
Indications are from the players it is a bit wide. Looking to make contact with her own toucher bowl. Well, she connected one of the front ones. Wasn't the correct one that she was wanting to get. Jan Shirley be happy holding that one shot there.
Very hard to draw that close to the ditch too, Terry.
Particularly on a green running at this speed, it's got to be some class to get another shot in there.
Shot. Right. And they're both ours there or not?
No, only that one.
That one, all right.
And Shirley, very smooth delivery. Very good technique. Forehand. To negotiate the front bowls, fails to do so at the moment. And it is Jan Shirley who picks up the one shot and completion 1/3 of the way through the 15-end game. It is Annette Bowell who leads by 7-2.
So 5.
Fashion on the green has come a long way since the days of the full-length white skirt, and this season it's brighter than ever.
Decided that the New Zealand Open is about colours, and we want to be out there, we want to be seen, and we want to be showing off how great our bowls are, so colours is the way to go. As an older bowler, white hair is death knell to me. It looks terrible.
You know, if you see everyone dressed in white, you don't know who.
The bees attract you pretty quick.
The bees attract you, so the one in white is that you're attracted.
Correct.
I don't know, have you ever seen old pictures in our it's pretty ugly. I've been stood on the side of the green while I measure from the ground to the bottom of my hem to make sure it's discreet enough. Parsley. We couldn't wear jewellery. It was very well, it was like being back at school.
Any opinions over here?
No, I'm happy.
He's happy with the short skirts.
Good. Sri Lanka, home of the world's best teas, and for over 6 home of the world's finest tea maker. Sons bring you 2 of their finest teas. Earl Grey, real tea with a distinctive flavour of bergamot, and Dilmah English Breakfast, wonderfully rich, timeless and full-bodied. Enjoy Dilmah Earl Grey and English, also in convenient 30s packs.
Do try it.
My stiff joints used to stop me from doing the things that I love. With the people I love. Then I used anti-flam joints. It made a huge difference.
To support mobility, try anti-flam joints today.
Part of any great savings plan. Great rate, like our hot online bonus saver rate. Woohoo! Giving your savings extra momentum and helping you reach your goals. So talk to Westpac today and let's start making savings plans.
Olivia Bloomfield has decided to take the jack and lead off with the first bowl. A player who represented New Zealand also games this year with the small country of Niue.
Good metre behind that bowl, Bev.
So certainly has the credentials behind her to be final today.
She's excelled at either, I believe, played touch for New Zealand, softball, very, very sporting lady. Married to ex-warrior Steve Buckingham.
There we are, we have the fine sporting background of Olivia Bloomfield as she is on the mat preparing to deliver her. And you see her turquoise bowl sitting at the bottom of our screen. That was her first one she delivered. Each player remembering having two. This one is crossing the centre line. You see it start drifting a long way past. As we said earlier, the green running at a very quick pace. B.F. Corbett in numerous finals before in her career. Indication from Annie Bell is that it's very much on target again.
The younger players too, Terry, they've got all the shots to play as well as the older players. It's just the experience that gets the just knowing when to play the shot, what shot to play at the right time.
Yeah, certainly so. Well, Aileen Peters looking to get some connection with the jack. She's got the bowls passed, but an experienced player in herself. She'll be a little bit disappointed. She really is just trying to draw to the jack. Change of hand for Dorian Schumacher. She looks to cover the three bowls that are past the jack. On the left hand side as we view it there, we can see the turquoise and the blue green disc bowls. Moment, Aileen Peters is looking to get something close to the jack, set it up for her skip. Well, she's travelling in the right direction at the moment. You can see it get some connection, and she does. Well, she was heavy again, but she picked up the jack and she's changed it considerably, and it's created a number of shots.
Four shots, Ed, I believe.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. The blue and the turquoise bowls. You can see
well, you've got to be up to it because you fall down.
Yeah, indication from well, play with some aggression. As, some of our crowd appreciate the class of Aileen Peters on that occasion. Dorian Schumacher running towards the jack, looks as though it could be heading through the big gap that's on the right hand side. Well, was that the correct shot there?
There is a lot of room there, Terry. They could draw to get third shot, maybe. Not, to cut the third shot out, the fourth shot out. They only have to get within the metre, and that's been playing very well.
I'm just wondering whether it's a better backhand run shot where she would be jacking into the bowls. She looked to be playing the wrong hand to me on that occasion, where that big gap that we can see on the right hand side. The bowl again here from Aileen Peters. Look at this. Well, she was fortunate enough to pick up the jack. She gave it an opportunity and got the desired result. Now Jan Shirley will play her first bowl. What's her options here?
Possibly just to play a back bowl in there and get some position in. Annette's going to play with weight. I think you're right. Definitely got to be the backhand for Annette. She's got to come down. There's more. It's a straighter hand. She's got a bowl out there hanging out wide. If she is a bit wide, get a slide into the head.
Well, it's a bowl of called correctly, covering the back. Any movement back of the jack. Well, Harriet Bell certainly looking at playing on the backhand and playing with weight. For either hand that she should be playing, looking to come into and make some contact pretty much on target as well. As we see it travelling down, she's going to miss, gets one of them, takes one out, reduces the count to 3.
It's a very good looking head here for Jan Shirley. That third shot, even if Annette attacks and gets the 2, that third shot, no chance of that going off the head if she attacks again.
Well, Jan Shirley holding 3. Last bowl. And on the backhand. Has got the back covered, so looking now to perhaps draw another shot. She doesn't really want to go right in close to the jack. She will be just drawing to the 3rd shot.
Got a lot of wind with that too, Terry, I think, and pulled her up 2 metres short.
Very good. As I said, breeze came up halfway through its journey, slowed it up very quickly, and Annette Powell on the run again. Looks to be pretty. Is coming across towards the target area now. She's got it. Well, and we got the back ball there that was played by and Shirley as the players go around the their fantastic recovery shot as we commence in now to the 7th end, nearing the halfway stage of this game. 8-2 established a very good lead. Bev Corbett delivers the first bowl, and the women continue in the same vein as they started by taking the jack and playing first.
15 ends too is very quick game. It's not the usual length of game that we're used to. It's usually longer games, so a good start is very crucial.
And it is a good start as well. Look at that. Be heavy, should be disappointed with that and waves her arms in disappointment. The breeze back behind the players as it pushes the bowls along. Bev Corbett.
Yeah, coming well down again, babe. So.
Indication from her skip that she's coming well again, and that is good bowl. She's got one on the jack, though the breeze did get a little bit, and it's taken it through a long way. She'll be pleased with it. One on the jack and one over. It's a good start from the lead for the Waikato combination. A fantastic record that this combination has put up over the last 2 years. Last year coming to the event, going through a number of qualifying games and post-section play to take them through to the final, and then winning that final last year. And as a right of winning the final, you were to the main event this year. And they've continued on their winning way. Some tough opposition they've struck along the way, but convincing style.
Right down here, Dorian. It's coming round here.
As Olivia looks to correct her weight and overcorrects and drops short, allowing the Waikato combination to continue to establish a good head on the backhand.
Yeah, this is very nicely for Jen Shirley at the moment. She hasn't got anything over the head, and she's down. She needs to rally, drawing very well here and get some couple close.
Yeah, certainly so. Needs to put in the head for Jen Shirley. So as perhaps if necessary she can play with some aggression.
Just let it drift in, Dory. Too much weight.
We just need to look back at the record of the Waikato combination and see that they have between them won around 10 club titles and just under 60 centre titles in Waikato, which is traditionally very hard centre to play, particularly in women's bowls. So there are no mugs at the game.
Here to only be one, possibly only two down, with a lot of room to cut it down to one.
Yeah, well, we may be able to just see some of the bowls there, the bowls on the green. We're up on the ditch. As I said, Jan Shirley very lucky to perhaps only be the one down, and we can see it there sitting beside the jack and very close for second shot, but I think the turquoise bowl up the green would be second. Annie Bell on her backhand, crossing over the boundary line, coming back into play. And an applause from her teammates. Is happy with that bowl. Shirley looks to be heavy as well, going right through to the back and probably go on the ditch herself. Well, she makes connection with the bowl behind. Got something past the jack, but she really just needs to get on the. She can't afford to let the Waikato combination to continue dominating the way they are.
She's looking to play the forehand, but that bowl seems to be right on the line she needs to be taken to get to the jack. She's probably be happy and get second.
Well,
unless she wants to take it underneath, looking to set the bowl.
I think she's going to change her hand. No, on the forehand. Needs to get close. just have better weight on this occasion. It's just a matter of whether it comes. Well, definitely the second shot. Yep, reduced the count. Best that she could probably do on that occasion. It's the one shot combination. They continue to march. The Anti-Flam Joints New Zealand Open in 2010, the women's triples final. 2/3 of the way through the game. And not quite 2/3. Completion of this end, we certainly will be. And Olivia Bloomfield to lead off has thrown a shorter jack. The minimum distance the jack must go from the mat is 23 metres. And she has pulled the mat up a little bit, probably an extra couple of metres. Thrown probably about 25 metres up the green from the delivery point. Looking to disrupt the of Bev Corbett, who has led very well, always managed to get one bowl in, and that has created a platform for Annie Bell. It's been recovery shots of Annie Bell, although that has certainly led this combination to its 10-3 lead.
She has been the difference in the game at the moment. Saving 2 threes, I believe.
Well done. That's a good metre away.
Okay, the second bowl from Bev Corbett, just coming up a little bit short again, so it will be Aileen Peters. Very subdued moment on the green, a little bit of a chuckle between the players. Years of experience, Aileen Peters. On the four, going out extremely wide. It is a lot shorter this end. I don't think it's going to be coming back all that way, Raylene. I think you've given it too much just crossing the centre line now.
Only one here, Dory.
A little bit of a chuckle about it because I think she knew as soon as she let that bowl go that she was far too heavy.
Raylene in particular is a lot coming down this way. She picked up that jack earlier on. Other than that, she has struggled with her weight coming this way.
Got a line in front.
Well, we can see the Great Wall of China starting to build up in front of the jack. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult for the players to follow to negotiate those bowls. There's four bowls, all a good metre short of the jack.
You can sneak in there.
Yeah, I think that's the direction too. Because she does have the one bowl of Livy's to roll over.
It's even better.
A bit of a chuckle about it, but as was mentioned from our expert comments man Dan Delaney, it is Aileen Peters who's just been struggling a bit, looking to try to get some connection because she looks heavy again. Well, this bowl is flying past the head.
Yeah, she's just lost a bit of confidence in herself, I think. There's no need to play that kind of weight into their head. All she had to do, just beat those bowls in the front. It's going to be a hard bowl to beat.
Schumacher with her second bowl. Heavy again as well. The players losing the vision, I think, with the bowls in front of the jack, and they're about. They're a good metre short of the jack, probably a metre and a half, and a long way away. I think the skips will certainly alter the situation if Beside that, they'll, I would be surprised. Jan Shirley on her backhand, looking to draw. Looks to be better. Certainly compared with the Aileen Peters bowls. You got to negotiate past that, and that's the shot. That's the number one.
That's one way of doing it.
It's going to be a very hard bowl for Annette to beat. The way her bowl's turned, she's not going to be able to come through that same gap. Weight,
well,
which she is doing.
Well, looks to be pretty much on target, heading towards the jack. Is she going to grab it again? No, she just ducks underneath. Well, get underneath the bowl on the wing there. Yeah, some weight, but for Jan Shirley, it's a case of just looking at beating it. She's got to forget about that bowl. She can come around and draw a shot. It's a long way out.
Need to be in there.
How's the second one, Terry, in the front? Is Olivia's...
I think the bowl, the two...
Could be second shot.
Certainly looks to be second shot. Really, she just needs to keep her weight controlled here.
She's on a very similar line. Oh, looks very close, Terry.
And let him negotiating that front bowl. Is she inside? Well, that's two very good bowls, and that is even a better one from Jan Shirley. That slightly... Definitely got the two shots at the moment. Well, I have taken the front one out of play slightly. Be interesting, but definitely two at the moment. And Dorian Schumacher says two down, Annie. So
looking at those the front two, you always favour the one line on its flat.
And that is the bowl of Olivia's. So. Interesting what Annie Bell does here, because she's got a chance of promoting her own bowl, which she does do, and she's recovered the situation once again. Well, Annie Bell, you can bow, because that was another fantastic bowl. Gave the bowl a chance, had some weight, turned her own front bowl, and picks up the single shot. Well, 2/3 of the game completed. It's 10 ends gone on the 15-end game, and it's Annie Bell that leads by 11-3. So you see again the bowl from Annie Bell, studied by Dorian Schumacher, gets onto her own bowl, promotes it up for shot, reduces the count, or cuts the count, picks up the single. 11-3. Well, 5 ends to and the Anti-Flam Joints New Zealand Open of 2010, the women's triples. The opening bowl of Bev Corbett continuing to play on her backhand with the tailwind. Opening bowl as well. It's where Bev Corbett has established it for her combination, particularly going in this direction on the backhand. As was mentioned by Dan Delaney earlier, I'm surprised that Jan Shirley hasn't directed that perhaps her lead change over to that same hand, because Bev Corbett has dominated throughout in this direction, and Olivia just struggled and looks to be heavy again on the hand that she's struggled and going through to the ditch. Well, I'll be getting onto the same hand as Bev Corbett. Backhand, smooth delivery, out over the rink line, pretty much on the same track as she's got enough weight to come all the way home. And
Right,
is
that's
where
glass, let it
this
drift in.
team, this combination is starting to dominate through the lead of Bev Corbett and the magnificent recovery shots of Annie Bell. Olivia Bloomfield, unfortunately,
Stand behind, Dorian.
puts her second bowl in the ditch. The pressure continues to mount for Jan Shirley.
You're pushing it.
Well, it certainly seems to be the hand that the wind is just, it's like the spinnakers up on the bowl, isn't it? Drifting along. A lot of bowls going into the ditch down on that hand, isn't there?
Yeah, the wind's just picking them up. Down, that's the first three bowls all played down that side, have all shot into the ditch. Aileen played there, seen them all dropping in, and
Where's the wind,
she's
Aileen?
decided. She's
Yeah, you're
thought
coming
it's
round that.
quick, so she's taken all the weight off.
Yeah. Well,
It's frustrating watching Terry knowing that they should be playing the other.
well, I'm surprised even that Dorian Schumacher is staying on that hand when
It's a better weight.
perhaps Annie Bell looking
Oh,
for a
no.
little behind. But and she does get it on this occasion. There's 3 at the moment to the Waikato combination. As was mentioned earlier, bowls on the head that's important, and sometimes they just forget about a bowl perhaps being slightly in the draw. If you're getting near it and it is a shot bowl, you're giving yourself a chance. Aileen Peters on the forehand, looks to be travelling through to the back as well. Well, they've got some connection with the bowl behind, otherwise I think that might have been...
Jan's got to be she's got to be chasing shots here. She can't afford to just get one. She needs to be possibly looking to towards Ray. Oh. She can't carry on going like this. She needs at least 2 this end.
maybe the time for Jan Shirley to have a little bit, look at a little bit of risk taking. Can't afford, as mentioned, to drop shots.
It's one of those ends, I think it's in or out end, afford to drop 2 more shots, or 3, or more, if a net. It looks very good here. She's going to...
Yeah.
Jan Shirley needs to alter this head.
Well, it might be just the bowl that gives her encouragement to try and alter it as well. I think she now would have to look at forehand with some weight. She's got options, forehand or backhand. It's a matter of what she's more confident of playing at. Looks to the way the bowl is being held that it's going to be on her backhand. But she needs to alter the situation, or the game would virtually be all over for her. Playing with weight on her backhand. Has she got enough green, or will she duck away? She's crossing the centre line too early. That's going away. I'm out. She's still definitely through. Annie Bell wastes no time. She knows what she's going to do on the mat, delivering on the forehand. As we can hear from her own teammates, tracking well again, Annie. Fortunately, it's not tracking enough for her to get another shot because the wind died and the bowl stopped out midfield. Jan Shirley looking to play with weight again. Got to alter the situation. Needs to make some contact or the game could finish very early. She's studying it on her backhand. It looks to be crossing the centre again and will drift away. Well, she didn't seem to get that delivery away too well. It didn't come out too smoothly. And it's the Waikato combination that are continuing to collect shots. Well, the players are looking at them. They've definitely got 3 at the moment, and they're looking at some bowls a long way away, because with that last bowl of Jan Shirley, she took one of her own bowls out of play, and we just need to get the players to take those 3 shots out of the way, because the bowl are way down on the right hand side of our screen, or the one up on the hand side will be put into the measure.
And of course, anti-flame joints. And
I think they will need to perhaps call an umpire to come and bring a long tape, so determine as to who has got the 4th shot. Well, over for Jan Shirley. She's definitely dropped a 3. It's going to be at least 14-3 with only 4 ends to play. There's our 2 umpires, Graham Earl, coming out with the long tape.
It's been one of the
he's got everything there to sort out the situation.
games where the score does not reflect how tight it really is. The Christchurch girls have held some very nice heads there, and Annette has managed to cut them down, where Jan's just struggled at times to cut down the big ends that the Waikato girls have had.
Yeah, we're going out to the green disc bowl, the anti-flam joint sticker on there, and that is the cannery combination, and around to the red disc bowl. Players, the umpires will just go back and check. Certainly, I think, looked like a 4. They've taken out the green disc bowl, and it is 3 shots that the Waikato combination has picked up and gone out to a 14-3 lead with only 4 ends to play. A significant lead it is at this stage as well.
Mates in Bowls. It's a social summer league run at bowling clubs all around New Zealand. Caught on pretty quickly.
Lots of fun, very relaxed. Liz and I just let off a bit of stress. Few BVs, cheap, RSA prices. Yeah, can't argue with that. And they're actually so warm and loving and awesome. It's good to get out in the sun on a Wednesday night, have a few drinks and stuff. Yeah, we'll have dinner afterwards and serve us at the bar. Nice.
Well, normally we actually have a strict uniform policy. Unfortunately, some of the boys have let down today. I think something to do with washing. Not in the house at the moment, so we missed out there.
So the result? 3 candles. And us be a time we actually bowl quite a bit, as you can tell. But it doesn't matter here because everyone just has a go, so it's cool.
2 things: got to have mates, and you just got to enjoy a few. We're just getting amongst it actually. It's a real social sport, and you just get to your local club. It's good fun, really good fun.
Sri Lanka, home of the world's best teas, and for is home of the world's finest tea maker. Merrill, Fernando and his sons bring you 2 of their finest teas. Dilmah Earl Grey, real tea with a distinctive flavour of bergamot. And Dilmah English Breakfast, wonderfully rich, timeless and full-bodied. Enjoy Dilmah English Breakfast, also in convenient 30s packs.
Do try it. Stiff joints used to stop me from doing the things that I love. With the then I used anti-flam joints. It made a huge difference.
To support mobility, try anti-flam joints today. Part of any great savings is a great rate, like our hot online bonus saver rate. Woohoo! Giving your savings extra momentum and helping you reach your goals. So talk to Westpac today and let's start making savings plans.
Yes, well, the combination we're looking at and thinking 11 shots in the last 4 ends is going to be a difficult task for us, particularly the way, as was mentioned, that Annie Bell has played the recovery shot.
Minimum of 3 and in now I believe, to win by 1. It's going to be very, very do.
Well, they've only scored 3 in total throughout the previous 11 ends, and demand 3 in the end is going to be a huge task for them now. Combination. Oh, Canterbury-Auckland combination. We need to include Auckland in there a little bit to have some representation in this final.
You'd think Auckland would have a lot more in these finals. These greens are not suited to you, really. Auckland is playing them. They're not the best around. Everyone knows they're not the best around.
You're coming under it,
Auckland greens predominantly are very hard to play. The Starweed, maybe in the Waikato you get a little bit, but it's mostly just Auckland.
Yes, various types of surfaces that are played throughout the country, and as mentioned there, the weed green is the predominant weed in the greens in the Auckland district, although a lot more greens have gone to the artificial surfaces. Further south we go, we have the traditional Cotula maniatota and Dioka, particularly in the southern part of the country. Just on greens, then you were playing surfaces in Delhi at the Commonwealth Games. How do you sort of compare those sort of surfaces with something like this?
I like a natural surface. The artificials,
well done.
A nice artificial is it can be nice to play on. I still prefer the natural. Over in Delhi, the greens were a lot. They did move around a bit. They were difficult to play. They were 2 speeds, and it's very hard to pick that up watching the games. But I do.
Yeah, that's fine.
Opening bowls on this, the 12th end. It is Olivia. One shot. She has tended to play better coming in this direction. A lot of her bowls gone into the ditch when she has had the tailwind, pushing back up into the breeze. Has played a lot better and given her team the opportunities. As mentioned earlier, on a number of occasions they've held shots, but it has been the outstanding play of Annie Bell that has recovered the situation for the Waikato combinations. Dorian Schumacher looking to get some connection on the... Fails to do so. I think she'll go right through to the back of the green. Important for Jan Shirley to score more than 1. She's only picked up 3 singles throughout the previous 11 ends in this game.
Track's good.
And also time for Aileen Peters to start making an appearance, and she does so on this occasion. Well, that's been one of her better bowls that she's played for some ends. Been an awkward situation for her. Tended to get on the mat, not holding the shot, and is looking to play a recovery situation a considerable amount of the time. But however, had the luxury on that occasion of holding the 1 shot and added the second.
I think she just looked at her watch, see what time it was.
Yeah, time to draw a shot. Well, a little bit more difficult for Annie Bell to get out of this time. Looking to draw on her backhand. She's been in the area pretty often before. And slows up, she's in the area again. However, just through 1.5 meters to 2 meters.
Jan Shirley can add head and they hold on to it. They're definitely starting in the right direction. Might just have a little bit of tension creep into the water.
Well, it's just to give her own team the confidence that they are able to pick up more than the 1 shot. I think that's what they really need. That as mentioned previously, they have had some ends where they've had 3s and 4s, but Bell's managed to get out of it. And if Jan Shirley can negotiate the front bowl Oh, well, she turned it over. It's still the 2 shots, but if they can pick up the 3 shots on this end, it just gives them the confidence to move on from there.
Rather be there or not?
And this is where the 15 ends is going to really hurt them. They haven't got the extra 3 ends or the extra 6 ends in a 21 or 18 end game that you usually get.
Yeah, traditionally in the past we've played longer games, but for the New Zealand Open, it's a quick fire game. It's 15 ends, 2 bowls. Very little time to recover if you get into some trouble earlier on. And yet Bell certainly coming into the target area. She turned up another, wow. Well, she turned up a bowl, but she came around it herself, and I think she may well even have second shot.
There you see that you've got to have the rub of the green. You've got to have that little birdie sitting on your shoulder. Get those kind little rubs and get in there. But Jan does have a chance here to sit that bowl out for 3. Or if she stays.
Well, we can see the bowl sitting on the right-hand side. It's the black bowl of Annie Bell, the red disc. See it sitting to the right of the jack there. It's just slightly past the jack, and opportunities now. Jan Shirley looking at perhaps coming through the front. Got 3rd shot with the bowl directly in line up the green, and I think that may be the only one that she has. A lot of discussion between the players. Look to see where they can pick up a multiple of scores.
Very
shots.
Very hard to get rid of both of those bowls too, I think.
Yes, tell you what, she's got to give it a crack at it, because she needs more than one.
Yeah.
They look like she's going to try and draw that jack a fraction to the left and try to bring the other 2 in.
Well, if we see it come around the red disc bowl in the front and slightly move the jack to the left-hand side, she can stay with that and move it back to at least the centre line, bring in the 2 green disc bowls at the front. That's where you see the directions there from Aileen Peters. A difficult shot in these conditions. She'll be hoping the wind just stays down, because it's only momentarily has stopped. Well, could be a very big bowl, this. Let's wait on the back. Skies brighten up and the clouds slowly start to disappear at the Henderson complex.
She's going to stick with this.
Well, you've called it a long time ago, Danny, that she should be looking at changing to that backhand where Bev Corbett has been dominating. Full length end. That's on the 2 metre. Let's see how she goes on this occasion, because she has in the past been putting them into the ditch, but not on this occasion. She She just wanted to prove us wrong that she could get it on that hand, and she has played an excellent opening bowl. 3 ends to play, the third last end. It's important for the Jan to continue to pick up shots. They are 10 behind. They need a minimum of a 3 to get themselves going. Clear. Jan Shirley played the same bowl. Sounds a lot easier than what it is.
Yeah, especially on Starweed. Very hard to find the same track. Very hard to read. Looking at the head from our end, it seems that that bowl would be in your line, but it's a often misconception. Bowls never seem to be, there's never really a bowl in your way on the green at this speed.
It's a wee thing in a big area. I always say to someone, try and hit it and see how you go. Yeah.
And there she goes, losing another one down that forehand side again.
Yes, the breeze is getting a lot stronger. The players are going to really battle if conditions such as this continue. It's one of the rare mistakes for Bev Corbett in playing this direction. She's been so solid on her backhand. Time the jack moved, of course. It's only sitting probably only just over a metre from the edge of the ditch. It's going to be difficult for the players. Tailwind. Aileen Peters on her forehand. Want to go too far away and remain as a it drifted a long way past too. The bowl actually in front will still probably be the second shot. Dorian Schumacher goes into the ditch. Well, they're trying to give the Canterbury combination a pick up some shots. Put a couple of balls in the ditch. So Aileen Peters, the lead in the winning pairs combination last year, needs to produce balls that she played last year. Looks to be coming pretty well. She can negotiate the front ball. Unfortunately for her, she didn't.
Stay here. Only one down.
Didn't want to touch that ball in. Just needed to sneak around it or inside it.
That's right. Yeah. Needs to be looking to get rid of that ball now. And they need to score a bundle of shots here.
Unfortunately for her, Dorian Schumacher's put another ball on the head. 14-4 behind Jan Shirley. 2 more ends after the completion of this, the 13th end.
Annette picks up a 3.
Yes, if it gets to the point of no return, the players will be shaking hands and the presentation of the medals and the that they'll have spent in the new year.
My favourite part of the tournament.
Jan Shirley on her backhand, playing down the grandstand side. Long way out, over the rink, coming back. Looking to be very well weighted. Looks to be a very good shot. It needs to get in there and just any movement of that jacket just a little bit would
One down, Annie.
probably have helped it. Here's the one shot at the moment.
Here. Can you play
No, if you took that ball out, it was fine.
Yeah.
Situation at the moment is that Annie Bell will be looking forward, meaning that she won't be unhappy if she dropped one shot only.
No, yeah, she's just going to look to get another bowl on the head there. If she gets a shot, it's a bonus. They're not going to chase, but it looks like she's played an absolute screamer here. I mean, she's just been on fire today. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, some outstanding bowls from Annie Bell. When her team recovered the situation. One down on that occasion. As Aileen Peters has a look at it. Contemplating what direction she should give to her skip, Jan Shirley.
The big danger here now is if Jan and does get a piece of Olivia's bowl and takes her own bowl off, she is going to be 3.
And Jan Shirley says, well, I'm going to go and have a look, because Aileen Peters is a little bit lost as to what she wants.
She needs to. They can't just pick up one day. They need to take the chance.
I think it's just one of those situations that she looks at it from one side, she favours her own bowl. She goes around the other side and favours the opposition. It clearly looks like there that the turquoise bowl is the shot, but it may not be. Annie Bell, she's sitting nice and relaxed. Definitely looks as though the blue bowl, turquoise bowl is the shot, but the players have said that. As was mentioned, there's some danger here that definitely doesn't want to move her own bowl out. We can see the red disc bowl, another one sitting up the green on the left hand side, the blue one, and there's also one sitting in behind. You can see it there, the red disc bowl. Be very careful, because she's going to be, well, she's got to chase shots, and I think she's going to have to take the risk. Against it, she may as well turn around and shake hands. Tense times for the Canterbury team. Jan Shirley, well, perhaps looking to take the opportunity to some shots, and if it goes wrong, unfortunate with her for her on the backhand, playing with some weight. And once again,
Going down there.
we've seen it so often before. The centre line a long way before the target area, and she was certainly well off target on that occasion. Annie Bell drew a fantastic hand with her first. Taking a huge amount of green and going back into the target area again. As we see it coming back in, it's on target again. She's all over. Well, it's Annie Bell show. It's a fantastic bowl once again, and the players are looking at it. Some indication bowl is actually the shot. Take out those that are not in the measure, and may even call upon players to measure it very, very small or short measure. Now umpire Bruce Taylor comes out onto the green. Probably use calipers to measure it. As he casts his own shadow over the where he's looking, as calipers are measured between the just making any adjustments necessary, and then we'll go around to the other bowl and have a look. now between the other two, and it certainly looked like the red bowl, the calipers went fairly freely through there. They can just check, and does take out the red disc. Is the one shot to the Waikato combination, and they continue to march on towards the championship title, picking up the one on the 13th end. It's 15-4.
15-4 with the Annick belt in the women's triples final.
Jack in the first to bowl on the second last end. 50 Janet Bell. 11 shots different. Very, very difficult task now for the Jan Shirley combination. 11 behind with only 12 bowls in play. All over after this end. To score a 5 to stay in the game.
It's been interesting to watch. They have changed the length that they've been playing. Christchurch Canterbury team just haven't tried to alter anything. They've been playing long going away from us, and short the 3/4 length coming this way.
Yes, they haven't had too many opportunities. Well, they have, because on a number of occasions it has been put in the ditch by both the leads, and it's just makes me wonder sometimes when you are in that situation as to why you don't take the jack away up the green and really try and alter things around. Take the mat away up and throw a 2 metre jack. It just really need to start thinking about things such as that, because dominance from Annie Bell has been just amazing throughout this game. She has got her team out of trouble, and she has certainly been the star of the show.
They do tend to favour, people do tend to favour a short jack into the wind and a long jack with it, where, as I got taught differently, to play a long jack into the wind and a short jack with it, it does throw people quite a bit.
That's why Danny Delaney, skip of our New Zealand peers blackjack team, Commonwealth Games, the tactics that he would have been using in this situation. Now for Aileen Peters. Already her combination is not looking good, and this is probably the last end of the game.
Scared, eh?
Giving the bowler a chance. Well, she's come to light.
Didn't even reach my ankle.
A very good bowl coming in this direction last time, and has done it once again. However, they need more than the one.
They need 5 to carry on. And with the bowl, Olivia hasn't set them up. They need to be looking for a kill at the moment, I believe.
Yes, there's one bowl from Olivia Bloomfield well up the green, and the other one is a long way back, and the 5 shots, they have to bring one of those bowls into play. Any chance they've really got is if Aileen Peters can move the jack back a bit more than what she has. Pretty well. She played 2 good bowls. 2 good bowls, perhaps a little bit too late.
Were you aiming at? Oh, okay.
Bit of wide play between the ladies who have known each other around the greens for a considerable number of years. Against each other on numerous occasions.
Yeah, been playing very good spirits. Bit different with the men. You get some of the men known each other a very long time. There'll be a lot of jibes going, a lot of cracks being taken at each other.
Danny Bell delivers her bowl. as I said, I've left some chalk on there. Well, that was the touches that she got on the previous end, and we could see the little bowl as it travelled up the green. Jan Shirley. Well, see, this surprises me. If she was going to play this end, she had to play it giving herself a chance of picking up a 5. Well, the maximum that she's able to pick up at the moment is only 4. There's no way that she can play one of Olivia's bowls. Olivia's bowls is the very shortest bowl and the furthest one away from the jack at the back. So if you're going to play the end, you might as well give yourself a chance. Have another go.
Exactly. Yeah, you should never give up until it's impossible to... She needs to kill this end.
Well, there's no way she can get 7 on the last end, even if she draws another shot. And that looks like what she is going to do.
Looks like they're surrendering.
Now, onto the draw, and you may as well shake hands, ladies. It's going to be all over very shortly for you. That's going to be the best end you've had of the game, and it's going to mean absolute nothing in the end because 4 shots to you is not enough, and it's going to be Annie Bell, Dorian Schumacher, and Bev Corbett who take out the title. Well,
It is 4 for Jan Shirley. So we will head to the final ends.
Oh, I can't work it out. There's no point in playing another end.
No point to play.
Well, these are all standing around. You must have shaken hands. And they finally have to. It's all over. It's impossible to pick up a 7, and the ladies are shaking hands, and it's another fantastic win to the defending champions, Annie Bell, Dorian Schumacher, and Bev Corbett from the Waikato area. They have taken out the Anti-Flam Joints New Zealand Open 2010.
Well, Annie Bell, congratulations at the Anti-Flam Joints New Zealand Open. Well done.
Yeah.
What was the key to victory for you guys today?
I think it's just compatibility with us three. We get on so well together and we don't panic.
You look very composed out there, even when the conditions were just a bit windy at times. Difficult?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, going down this way it's rather quick. Coming back this way, you're sort of pushing into the wind. So you've got different, each end. Yeah.
Together with the Waikato rep team before, and you've won the championship last year. How important was that ability to be able to handle those conditions?
Yeah, I think you just get used to it, and a bit of an old hand at it. So, yeah.
Well, congratulations, though. The other ladies are very, very happy. So well done, back-to-back champions.
Thank you.
So it's Annie Bell of the women's triple. They go back to back. They take out the $3,000 and well right from the rear there.
Well, the most important part of it was when she was in trouble, she was able to recover from some real telling shots in the middle of that game. Good foundation laid by Bev Corbett earlier on. Capitalised on that. Annie Bell, can never write her off, can you?
The triple, of course, skipped by Jan Shirley. I thought Olivia Bloomfield did some great work at the lead bowl, but they just couldn't quite hang in there and suffered from a bad start.
Yeah, she was dominated earlier on in the competition, and that's where the Waikato combination got underway. Established an early lead, hard for Jan Shirley to fight back from there.
All right, so that's it for the triples. Coming up next week, it's the final of the women's singles. It's Marilyn Mcleod from Tauranga South up against Anne Bateman from the Kensington Club. On behalf of all the team, I'm Clint Brown. We'll see you next time at Sky Sport for the Anti-Flam Joints New Zealand Open for 2010.
Zealand Bowls Open was brought to you by Anti-Flam Joints.
Sky Sport has an interesting new show for you. It has an attractive new host. No, not the pig. Laura.
Is this a good call?
And there's even this. Well, isn't too big. And a bit of mischief. It's the Cricket Show. Wednesdays on Sky Sport.
Liz dumped him, so on to plan B.
Being a Scottish lady, you like the bronze Aussie.
Give it to me strong, baby.
Then the good oil from Clarkson.
I was told I could say Maserati before I could say money.
Warnie, Thursday, Prime.
Willis was looking for the pass, off for Lang ground, he kicks, he's looking for the chase from Kevin McGuinness. O'Davis is after it, the sideline is coming up, it came off the boot of McGuinness, he might still get it away, he does! This is something magical! It's a try! Scored by the Magpies!
Well, they didn't come up to beat him and he picked the halfway. Doherty, short ball to Brand. Great ball from fullback, back to Doherty. Chance here as they go wide. Carlaw got away from daylight. John Carlaw with O'Neill to beat, throws it back inside. They keep it alive, it's Poaching. Poaching puts it up, oh, what a try!
Rayner with it, he comes centre field. Gareth Rayner with the ball, points. Now he kicks, knocked down by Thurston, picked up by Hindmarsh. He doesn't want game over. Smith away to Lockyer. What about this?
One of the blue ribbon events at the Anti-Flame Joints New Zealand Open here at the Henderson Bowling Club is the will be Northland versus Bay of Plenty and Bateman against Marilyn Mcleod. And Terry Scott, looking at Marilyn Mcleod's form coming into this women's singles final, it's strong. She's dispatched her opponents well.
Certainly. Bateman has had to take a little bit of harder path. Both of these women are experienced representative bowlers. They've got a lot of years behind them, and this is going to be a real close call, this game.
Conditions always come into final. Very hot today, and of course quick greens. How will these women approach it?
Well, they did play on other clubs throughout the preliminary rounds of the competition. They haven't played too many bowls in this event in here, so it's going to be a new. It's going to be the one who can adapt to it the quickest, really.
So it's the 62-year-old Anne Bateman against the 61-year-old Marilyn Mcleod, but age will not weary them because they are young at play bowls. It's the Anti-Flame Joints New Zealand Open Women's Singles Final.
Well, all the bowlers have enjoyed a fantastic Christmas and New Year throughout the country, and we return here to the Henderson for this singles final. Both players scoring impressive results in their games, their semi-final games, and throughout this competition. It was Marilyn Mcleod, who has had experience at this level before, appearing in the final of the Women's New Zealand Open in 2009. Returns today to the finals rink. Unfortunately, she was beaten on that occasion by Annie Bell from the Waikato, along with her triples combination, who defended their title just last week and winning a couple of weeks ago it was, and winning the triples final again. Certainly a combination that was on form for this event. Well, it's Marilyn Mcleod looking to go one step better. She'll have a battle against Anne Bateman, a former New Zealand representative. As I said, a lady who has built up an impressive record both at centre and at national level. She is a regular attender at national tournaments over the last 10 years and has performed very, very well. A winner of the Peers, the national 2004-05. She was the skip of the pair and then runner-up again a couple of years later in Dunedin. Well, the national tournament, of course, being held in Dunedin, 2009-010. 10-11 actually. We keep on forgetting we've moved on to another year now, don't we? And we can say Happy New Year to Dave Edwards, who is helping out in the commentary today. Dave, you look as though you've had a pretty good Christmas and New Year.
Been another ripper. Can't complain.
Yep.
Thanks, Terry, and it's good to be here again. And I think we're in for a fantastic game here, I think, because these two players, the experience of these two players is the big thing. They've both been there and done that, as you've already alluded to. Their records at club and centre level are just outstanding, and for a rip snorter of a game.
Well, the cloud, as we can see in the background there, has come over a little bit. It was a pretty pleasant morning when we first arrived at the greens today. Fortunately, we're not seeing any wind at this stage, and let's hope it does stay away, because it has a huge effect on the game. One of the elements that the players detest the most is the windy conditions. They would, a lot of players always say, I'd sooner be playing in the rain, the cold, but not. Well, it's certainly not cold. Both players wearing their short sleeve topped and their shorts. Very pleasant conditions. Bowling Club, we've seen some fantastic finals so far throughout this event, the New Zealand Open. And I'm sure, as Dave said, we will see another one here today. The second last of our events. Next week, of course, we'll be playing the men's final.
I think one of the things, Terry, is just how quick this green is. I think it's something that is going to have a big bearing on the game. And as you mentioned, we definitely don't want the wind to get up, because with this, it is going to, if the wind got up as well, it would make it quite incredibly difficult conditions. But at the moment, the wind is behaving itself, and here's a here from Marilyn. That'll definitely be the shot. But the speed of the green, it's running around about 18 to 20 seconds, which is very, very fast. And so real delicate touch required on a green of this speed.
Yes, well, it's Marilyn Mcleod, and we'll identify these players as we go through, but she is playing with the red disc bowls, holding one, and Bateman looking to rectify that situation. She's pretty well played. Oh, it's a magnificent last bowl from Anne Bateman.
We'll just get the word from Aileen.
Definitely very close as the players have an inspection. Either are prepared to concede the shot at this stage, so we'll quickly get the... And it'll be Marilyn Mcleod who's decided to measure. Put the block of the measure towards the jack and go out to her bowl. Come around to the blue bowl of Anne Bateman. There's the shot to the green disc bowl Bateman, so she has started very, very well with that last bowl. We got the indication there from Aileen Harvey. She is the marker for our game. Aileen Harvey, Takaranga Bowling Club here in Auckland, rep player in Auckland. Also got the qualifications in the umpiring and coaching arena, so certainly well versed in the game of bowls. Is Aileen Harvey as Anne Bateman in the blue attire and the green disc bowls. Left-hander. Well, we saw left-handers last week in the triples final of the men's. A couple of weeks ago it was, in the men, women's last. Another left-hander, Anne Bateman, has decided to take the jack, and with her opening bowl, reasonably handy.
How
Feet
short's that bowl,
short.
please?
We'll get an indication
About a
here from Aileen Harvey. Foot, we're reckoning the old measurements. Seems to be difficult for a lot of us to move the metrics. It's a foot jack.
Very good opener from Anne, and that love to be able to achieve, or any particular game, but that first bowl effectiveness, getting that first bowl heavy so that you can sort of dominate the proceedings right from the word go. And a close run thing there from Marilyn, just a little touch on the way past on the jack, but unfortunately she ran through some couple of metres, so it still leaves Anne Bateman with the dominance. Yes, that first bowl effectiveness, it immediately puts you in charge of the end if you can get a real handy one with your first bowl. Such an important bowl in any form of the game, but especially singles.
Well, Anne Bateman playing with the blue Drake's Corsair bowls. Well, she only changed to these bowls a couple of months ago. Drake's for around about 10 years, but has changed her bowls. So many different makes of bowls on the market, makes and models of bowls, and comment briefly about those of Marilyn Mcleod. She's playing with a purple speckled bowl, got some red speckles on it. It's a Taylor SR bowl. On her backhand, changed her hand. And done a pretty good job of it as well. And Bateman. Yeah, backhand, the left-hander. Playing out of the Kensington Club, as I mentioned previous, with numerous club titles, centre titles. On the bowls there, good close-up shot as we see this purple bowl making its journey at about 28 metres down the green to the jack. Yeah, she's pretty geared.
You can see straight away what I was mentioning earlier on about the speed of the greens and how it doesn't need much of a difference in the delivery from the players to make a big difference at the other end of the rink as far as the speed is concerned. A couple of bowls gone charging through the head and a couple have pulled up short. Just the effort required. The difference between a short bowl and a long bowl on a fast green is so minor. So very tricky conditions for the players today, but with all of their experience they've got, I'm sure they'll handle it.
Yes, you need to be pretty precise on greens. It's Marilyn Mcleod that holds the one shot, and looking at this bowl coming in, it's going to stay in that position. Definitely the one. So players getting a feel of the scene and the situation here at Henderson, and it's one shot for Marilyn Mcleod. Interesting, she's decided to give away the mat and the jack, as we have mentioned in our previous coverage. The winner of the end has the choice as to whether they wish to give away the mat or retain it for their own purposes. Generally, we have seen in the women's competition that they have kept the mat and the jack. However, Marilyn Mcleod has decided to give it away to Anne Bateman. It is on her forehand, the left-hander.
You mentioned the Kensington club that Anne Bateman comes from Northland. They're a very, very strong club, especially on the women's side of the game up there. They've got a good crop of very, very good players at that club, and so as we see a real good bowl here, Marilyn, but Anne Bateman, being from a really strong club, it does enhance your own bowls, because even to win a club title, it's pretty hard yakka. So it is a well-recognised club, the Kensington Club in Whangarei, for sure.
Yes, we continue to hear the name of Kensington when we listen to the radio for the tournament that is traditionally held through the Christmas and New Year period, and invariably someone from Kensington is making their way through to the final stages of the competitions. Marilyn Mcleod at the moment. Married to Noel Mccloud. They are
Now that's
dairy
a good
farmers.
story. That's a good story, that one, Terry. You got to tell us that story.
Yeah, it is. It's a very interesting story. Marilyn and Noel Mccloud, they're farmers, they're dairy farmers in the T. The interesting part that Dave's referring to is that they were actually childhood sweethearts and then departed their own ways and got married and had their various families. And later in life, when they were back by themselves again, married. In 1989, they met up again. Later, very happily married in 1994. So, fantastic story about Marilyn and Noel Mccloud. Just checking the bias of her bolt. Wee disc on the inside. The process that the players go through and pre-match routine, pre-delivery routine. Marilyn Mcleod is pretty well pointed again. A couple of good bowls on the head.
About both players is the way they're hitting their line, Terry. They're finding, they're getting within 18 inches or so of that centre line in the middle of the rink, and that's all about taking the right line with your bowl. As we've talked about in the past, bowls is only two things, line and length. You've got to send the bowl down the right line at the correct speed, and if you're sending it down the right line, it'll finish just like that one there of Anne Bateman's, pretty adjacent to that centre line. So that means that the girls have picked their line pretty early on in this game. So
100 metre.
There's the words of advice from the experience of Dave Edwards, the national coach. Line and length, and as Dave said, getting back to that centre line. As the last bowl on this, the ends have no bearing on the game. It is a case of the first to 21. Player who scores 21 shots, and Marilyn Mcleod at the moment holding one. So both players being reasonably conservative at this stage. Definitely the one shot picked up by Marilyn Mcleod immediately gets into her pocket to measure. No mucking around, and that's what I like to see. If they think it's close, get the measure out. Too many times we see bowlers down and looking at it, trying to make up their mind. As she measures to her own bowl first. Definitely looked like the blue bowl was the second shot. Very close. Seemed to get a bigger rub on the blue bowl.
Close measure, they're going back again. This is for the second shots, I believe.
The early days in this game, of course, Terry, and both players will be just trying to get into a rhythm, get their deliveries ticking over, get the feel of the speed of the green, and there won't be any fireworks.